So I know I'm the last one on this panel, so the pressure's on me, like a slog over batsman. I feel like I'm in the 18th over of a T20 match. So I'll try and hold the wicket and still score the runs. So we are essentially all morning, all day we've heard about how attitude and how behavior and how softer elements of being adaptable, being creative, being innovative. And these elements are so much more important, or at least as important as every other aspect of a child's development. So I'm going to start with spend just 30 seconds tell you where the genesis of our thought process itself came. We worked for over a decade or more with corporate institutions, and we still do with organizations, focusing on leadership development, teamwork, attitude, taking initiative. The sessions are we see an energy resonating from the participants, but often we hear from HR and training department saying that, once they go back, it's so difficult to put that into the workplace, which led us to believe that attitudes, behaviors, value systems form much earlier in life. And really attempting to change this in a 35-year-old or 45-year-old is going to be so difficult. So yes, it's a business, we are working, but the satisfaction or the disillusion was creeping in. And so we said that, can we really focus on these elements in a much younger age when they're actually getting formed? And is there a model that we can develop with which we can focus on these elements? And some of the numbers are startling. So I was reading a recent business magazine, and I found that 80% of young Indians working in organizations are working in organizations of the size of between 5 lakhs and 50 crores. Over 80% of Indians are working in these organizations. And a bulk of them are working in organizations. 63% of India are either in small and medium scale enterprises or self-employed. The challenges that they face is that as a person, and I would be one of these organizations who are in this, who would consider ourselves small, when I go and represent and go and make a sales pitch or go and try and convince a client, I represent the company. And that time it's not my marks or my score that's going to help me. It's that certain X factor that I have, that I'm able to make a convincing argument to the person in front of me. And that element is going to come from a lot more than algebra and calculus that I'm going to learn in class. It's not to say that that's not important. There is a foundation and there is that certain X factor. Bulk of whom we employ, we have a chain of resorts, one of our sister company which we run in the mountains, and bulk of our people are 80-90% of people working there are from villages nearby. And we find that the spark that that person has is more important for me than the education qualification that they have. So that's the skill that's going to get a tier 2 town or a tier 3 town student to make something of himself or herself in life. The students who are going to some of the prestigious institutions here already have a head start. But what about the kids who are in smaller towns, who have to vie for the same jobs, who have to try and make a success of themselves? It's not their marks that's going to get them, it's this X factor, it's their attitude that's going to really get them there. So we feel that our belief is that the experiential learning based model, something that Parminder spoke about learning, play and learn, and play to learn. The experiential learning model allows for a reflection, allows for one to see oneself in a situation and see how I react, and really make it possible for me to develop my own areas of development, focus on my own areas of growth, rather than somebody telling me what's important, and which could be different for different children, or from different places, from different. So if I come from an environment where my father has always told me, just listen to what I have to say, and what I say is the law, then here is an opportunity for me to discover a few things for myself. As we work more on this space, we realize that it's a great model, but all schools don't have visionary teachers or principals like we have here on our panel. So how are we going to, the challenge is going to be scale. How are we going to scale it? How are we going to make it relevant in not 5 schools, but 500 schools? And some of the things that we adopted, very similar to what EduSports is doing, is to look at technology, again, as an enabler, but what every other teacher here has spoken about, which is not to ignore the face-to-face aspect of learning, which is important in the space of attitude. If I have to learn how to behave with someone, I need to experience that first. I can't learn it out of a computer. So, but the computer will allow me to connect me, my parent, the parent who is as much an involved entity in developing my value system as the teacher. So what we are trying to do is really focus on this area of attitude and behavior development, but in a model that uses technology, that uses experiential learning as a platform, and create something scalable and hopefully be able to influence a lot more students, and especially in towns and cities that don't have access or the privileges that we in urban areas get, and hopefully be able to create a far more responsible and a far more conscious and a respecting citizen in this country. Thank you.